Hey guys, welcome to Weird Guy Day. It's Tuesday. The saga of the wagon wheel and the failures therein has entered a new stage, in that we have passed the first hurdle. We have made the wheels. I finally just got over myself and cut the PVC tubing that I determined was the right size. I cut them. You can see it's extremely rough cut, but the width of it doesn't really matter. Because that's going to be caked up with mud and stuff anyway. And I put this brass strip, the same that we used for the barrel of the cart, um, up around. Ow, stab myself. That's fine. Um, yeah, so I put that around, and then that straight line will give all the visual indication you need that it's, a shod wagon wheel from a distance, and all will be well. Um, Now, normally you would just glue something like this, but because I'm trying to work with PVC and brass with metal, it doesn't work super well. Super glue doesn't really work on these items. Um, so instead, I am using a physical connection in the form of little sewing pins, which you can kind of see there. It's kind of hard to see. There you go. That I drilled holes through the brass strips and then drilled matching holes through the PVC, and then pulled the brass strip tight around it so that it would be a nice perfect circle. And then this part that is just clearly not done will be the part that sits in the mud, and the mud will probably come up to, you know, here-ish at least on these wheels, so you won't even see this at all, which is perfect. I'm going to add a bunch of embellishments to these wheels too, just for funsies. Um, but I wanted to show you guys how I did it. So on this one, the second wheel, wow, second wheel, I did not finish drilling the last hole. Um, I drilled the hole into the brass strip. You can kind of see it right there. But I didn't drill it into the PVC or add the thing so that you guys could see what was going on. So I've got my handy dandy Fundic driller set to high. Um, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically pull this brass strip and squeeze it down as tight as it goes so that it's not got a big gap around the whole thing. So it's hard because this part's a little bit tilted. Um, then I just take this, I put it in the hole I already drilled, drill through, clean up some of the schmutz. I have the sewing pin on a magnet next to me. And then I just put the sewing pin like a nail in a hole, right like so, and then bend it around. I'm gonna have to cut the ends off of these so that they're not so sharp, but there you go. Now it is a friction fit. If I'm feeling frisky at some point, I might go in and drill more holes around and add more pins just to secure it so it doesn't wiggle at all. But this is probably good enough to keep working on it at least, if not to paint and be done with. Um, so there we go. We've done that. Next comes, of course, everyone's favorite part of a wagon wheel, the spoke, which is the cool little thing that makes it different. Oh, I have some fellas here. Uh, there's a dog here in my case. I've got some fellas here. These are called my siege lumps. Basically, found the biggest weird guys. Well, not biggest, but large in comparison. Here, I can compare it actually to our two other fellows that we've made so far. So here's the Blackwater Knight. All these guys are going to need funny names. They're big and stupid and tough, and that's their whole shtick. This guy's got a fish head, kind of, and then this guy has an actual fish head, a pike head. But if I compare it to our very first guy, which is the size of most of the other models in the army, you can see he's quite beefy. And then even if we compare it to our butcher boss, you can see still a head taller and quite a bit thicker. So I just got those out of the curing box in my garage, so I haven't had a chance. I need to move them out of my way, so I don't lose my mind. Oh yeah, there's one more guy. Wow, wow, long arms. Wow, pretty cool. Uh, okay, I'm really hoping that the audio on this is working. I don't know. I'm gonna pause real quick and see if I can like play part of it. I cannot. That's fine. Um, if it doesn't work, I'll do a voiceover again. Where was I? Spokes. Yes. Ah, here it is. So I have these very cool little things that I got at some kind of hobby store. I don't exactly know which one. It might have been one of the half price craft stores or something like that. Or like I don't think it was any of the big name ones. But these are nice because they're little um, rods, wooden rods. They're basically toothpicks, a little thicker than a toothpick, but not as thick as a skewer. But they're flat, like they're pre-cut flat, which is excellent. Um, and so the basic idea here is, bada bing, one of these situations. So we now have a whole bevy of new things to figure out. So that's exciting. Yeah, let's see. What's trying to decide what the best way to do this is going to be. If I think I want to get a round bead and then drill holes in it to use as the spoke, like the wheel in the middle. Um, yeah. 1 second, I shall return. Fingers crossed that our audio is still recording. The little light's on, so I'm hopeful. Um, okay, I've got a couple options. I've got this big round bead. Has the benefit of having a hole in it already that I can use as a guide, which is pretty useful. But it's very big. I think it is too big. It makes the wheel look silly. I don't like it, which is a bummer because having that pre-drilled hole in the perfectly round bead would have been pretty slick. I've also got these, which I'm thinking is probably going to be the move. Yeah, that's about the right size. So now the issue that I have is I need to somehow drill holes in this that are at 90-degree angles from one another. But since the actual bead itself is a little wonky, um, I think we'll be able to get through it relatively easily. Um, Let me try to tilt the camera. Okay, we're back. Um, I'm gonna take this drill now, and I'm gonna try to drill some holes. I'm gonna start with a small drill bit first. So this first one, as long as I am pretty much vertical, that was basically the full limit of how deep you can drill with this drill bit. So that's convenient. So I've also got the lady in charge of those freaks from earlier, so we'll push her off to the side a little bit. She's going to be the siege captain of my intrepid squad. So now what I'm doing is I'm comparing the size of these little rods, these little sticks, to the size of my drill bits. I'm going to need something that's just a little bit bigger than it is. So I'm thinking 2.4. Yeah, that should do it. One important thing to note is that when you're trying to drill a hole through wood, or really through much of anything, once you've drilled your pilot hole, you actually kind of want to drill fast. Otherwise, you have a greater chance of like breaking it. Okay, so there's our hole drilled. The urge to do a Honey Nut Cheerios joke, but how am I ever going to make it big if I start making fun of the big companies? Okay, needs to be one size bigger than that. So I need to actually be able to get the spoke in to it. You can also see I fucked up a little bit with the placement, so I just ran the drill through as a very, very basic makeshift like widening tool. Okay. Bada bing. Look at that. We're in business now, boyo. So now I just need to kind of do the same thing a couple of times. So I can actually use these. I can use the fact that this is stuck through here to help me level my next hole. This stuff has been lacquered to hell. My drill bit can't really get a bite. I'm gonna come in with my scalpel. Just give this a couple turns. And that should get past enough of the stuff that I can actually. There we go. Okay. Oops. Okay. Sorry, I keep thinking the camera is somewhere that it isn't. Okay. That'll work decently well. There we go. Do that, and then we'll do one of these. We can see how wonky we are. Okay. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's not ideal, but see, it's kind of a wonky shape, but that's fine. So now I need to do two more, one here and one here, and I think that's the number of spokes that I want. It'd be nice to do like just a 6 or something, but I just don't really think that's possible with my skill set as it is. Remember that this won't work unless I do this first. Being very careful with this part so I don't, slip and experience what a scalpel is for most of the time. This is how you know you're getting the real stuff. I keep showing you how bad I am at everything. I think those big hobby channels would do this. No, dude, they probably like practice. Ridiculous. Oopsie. You know what? Maybe I will call it there. Let's see what it looks like. Hmm. Well, I definitely fucked up. But I don't know if I hate it. Yeah. That's, well, no, I do hate it. Thought I could be like cool and forgive things, but I cannot. So that's what these beads are for. I brought extras because I knew I would mess up the first time I tried it. So I'm gonna quickly drill the holes off screen, uh, so that they work. And I'll be back. Hi, welcome back. So here it is. I actually cut these sticks in half. I'm gonna have to cut them again, obviously, to length to fit inside here. But look at that, guys. That's looking pretty sick. Pretty cool. I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna probably draw a line or something so I can figure out where the actual center is, so I can get everything glued in place and whatnot this way. But yeah, that's pretty slick, pretty cool. Um, I do need to figure out what I'm going to use to glue this in place. PVC and super glue do not play well together. Wood and super glue play very well together. So I'm gonna have to figure something out there. But these beads having a little central hole is good because then I can use that to build an axle between the two of them. Because I like my carts to be functional, which is very silly and completely unnecessary. But it is kind of fun to do. Uh, so, yes, we've got one. I ended up doing something kind of different, so I wanted to show you what I did. Not sure how much of it I'll be able to actually get on screen, but basically I started with, this is a 1.2 millimeter on low, and then what I did every time was basically I just I was stupid and forgot that if you put it on low, the drill might actually have a chance to work. So I do it like this, and then I compare it to the inside, and then I usually have to straighten it a little bit, and then I hit that side. Then I switch to like here, so I can make sure that it's actually going through the device straight, and it's a lot of back and forth. To make sure that it's as straight as I can get it to go. It does really hurt my hand, but that's probably fine. Okay, and then so I hit him with one of those, then I hit him with one of these, one of these. Bada bing, bada boom. Look at that, we got that perfectly in there. And then just two more. We'll go right in the middle here. I swear, guys, when this cart is done, you are going to laugh at how long I spent doing this, because it's not gonna fucking matter at all what these spokes look like. No one will even look at them twice. And you know what? That's okay, because it's kind of fun. Had to redo that hole because it wasn't in the right spot. Alright, and then the last one, right like so. This one's going to be kind of funny looking. Oh, switch us back to low. Man, I really hope that the audio track still exists in this. That would be awesome. Nope, that was way, way off. That's better. Doesn't matter if I have too many spots, as long as I remember which ones are right. Which I almost assuredly won't. And then I move up a size. This is a 1.8. So I'm just gonna, not gonna go all the way through with this one to prevent the issues I was having last time of accidentally drilling a new hole on the other side. Hmm. Now I appear to have come to my decision. Bada bing, that's the one I'm picking. And then I'm gonna pick this one. Okay. Nice and wonky. One thing I discovered that was very frustrating was that taking your meds on time really does make you feel better, and that sucks. Gotta go put in a shower head for my aunt tomorrow. That's gonna be fun. And get to watch the Eagles. She's formed a parasocial relationship with. So that'll be cool. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Here we go. So, bada bing. That's how you do it. This is a mess, but that's fine. Okay. So I need to do some research into what the best glue for this is going to be. I can also quickly measure something that I wanted to measure while I'm here, which is perfect. It's awesome. Easily distractible. I don't think this axe is long enough. I don't think it fits the vibe I want for the fish man. When 3D printing resin specifically cures, it kind of breaks like glass more than it cuts like plastic. So I want to make sure not to fuck that up. Is basically what I'm going for. I don't want it to explode off into the distance. I'm sure, hundreds of pieces that have done exactly that. But I'm not going to worry about that. So the guiding hole principle is even more important when you're drilling resin. This is turned into an impromptu drilling episode. Okay. And we're gonna turn up the speed now that we've got an actual hole. Kind of the same thing we did before. We want to check and make sure that we're ending up in roughly the right spot. In this case, I really did not. So I'm going to try again. This is all hopefully going to be drilled out anyway at the end, so it doesn't really matter. There we go. Perfect. And then it's really very important to go up in small sizes when you're working with something with a fragile disposition like this. So I'm going to go up to a 1 and hope that that's not too fast. Shouldn't be. And then for this one, I'm actually going to come through this one to make sure I'm going the right way. Okay, that was a 1. That was a 1-2 actually. Now we're gonna go 1-6. These little hobby drills are lifesavers, man. They're really good. And if you're ever thinking of getting into 3D printing, I would recommend curing your prints before you try to drill any of them, or post curing them so that they're nice and tough. And if it gets away from you, don't just keep going. Just let go and turn the thing off. Because I have drilled into my own fingers so many times that it's crazy. I'm going to go up to 2.2. Almost. And we'll go to 2.4 and then 2.6. Then we're done. So here's 2.4. Swimmingly. And 2.6. There's dust everywhere right now. It's crazy. And then I will just carve away the rest of this with my little knife. So that there's not like an awkward little like half handle thing. That always looks kind of bad. This guy's got webbed fingers, so that will hide some of our sins. Okay. Uh-oh. That's a crazy sound it's making. Okay, so I think we've discovered that this is slightly too narrow still, but I don't think it warrants going all the way up to a 2.8. So what we're gonna do is just kind of rock this gently back and forth and press up and down and side to side a little bit. Just trying to increase the size a little bit. Perfect. Look at that. Like a glove. So now our big fish man, bada bing bada boom, can have his can have a big ol' weapon. Big ol' pole arm up here. That'll make him look more like he's besieging something. Not sure how long I want it to be yet, but nice. Okay. Hello and welcome back. God, again, I'm really hoping that the audio worked, but uh, if it didn't, you'll never know. Wow. So, okay. Got our wheels done. We got our spokes ready. I need to figure out what kind of adhesive. It's probably going to want me to use two-part epoxy or something, which I don't really want to do, but may not have a choice. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, okay. Um, Next time, I think on the next episode, I might show you guys how I based these guys since they turned out so good. So I'll base them, I'll finish kit bashing them, and then might I'll probably prime one of them to show you how I like to paint rusted metal. Maybe. I don't know if that'll all be in one. We'll see. But until then, goodbye.